Hey flower friends! In my flower shop, I need a cheap, easy, quick way to wrap bouquets. This is how I do it. My name's Ellen Frost. I'm building a community of flower nerds online by sharing knowledge and creating connections. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I wrap bouquets here in my shop with Kraft paper. Kraft paper is my go-to when I'm wrapping bouquets. It's cheap, easy, and versatile. I also have a free flower newsletter, which you can check out at the link below. So my go-to wrap material is Kraft paper. So Kraft paper is just this brown, lightweight paper. For me, it's the easiest, best product. People I know wrap bouquets in all different kinds of things like plastic wrap or waxed paper. If you look at TikTok, there are all kinds of insane wrappings, but Kraft paper is the simplest, least expensive, most versatile option there is. So the Kraft paper that I like to use, this is an 18-inch wide piece of Kraft paper. The roll is 18 inches wide, and its weight is 30 pounds. That means it's pretty lightweight. There are heavier weights, but those are harder to wrap, harder to fold. So 30 pounds is about the weight that I like to use. This roll is 100 feet long, cost me $65. Really inexpensive. I only have to buy this maybe once every 3 or 4 months. And the holder is an $80 holder, and I've had it for over 10 years. So it's really holds up well. Never had to replace it. So when I'm getting ready to wrap my bouquet, I'm just going to pull a piece of the Kraft paper off the roll and then just rip it. It's got like a little blade on it, so it's easy to rip off. And then I'm going to do a fold, which I call the double peaks fold. So that just means I'm making 2 mountain peaks with my Kraft paper. This way, I think for me, is the best way for the most coverage and for the most protection of your flowers. So I'm going to start with my Kraft paper here on the table. I'm going to take my bouquet. And you want to make sure that for any bouquet that you're wrapping, that your stems are nice and clean and that they're nice and even. And what I want the Kraft paper to do is protect the flowers for travel and for looks. It does look very nice, but I want them to be protected. So I'm going to lay them down right with the flowers right in the middle of these 2 peaks. And I'm going to wrap them with my pinch point, which is where my hand is, and in this case, my rubber band. I'm going to put that right at the bottom of the paper. And then I'm just going to do 2 folds, just like that. So easy, simple. You can do it really quickly. And then I'm going to staple it. And I like to add a business card to my bouquets because I want to make sure that my branding is on there. So you can see this is a nice, quick, easy way to wrap. The stems are still able to be in water. That's one of the things that I know people are concerned about. That's why they want to use wax paper, things like that don't get wet. But if you just have your Kraft paper above your pinch point, so there's plenty of room for your stems to still be in water. If you have a bucket like this that you're traveling with, or you're selling bouquets out of a bucket, just put a little bit of water in there so that the stems are still in there and they can stay hydrated and your flowers are protected. So sometimes for holidays or special occasions, you might want your Kraft paper to look a little more festive. So what I'll do is I will, again, rip a piece of my Kraft paper off the roll. And then I will take a piece of colored tissue paper. This is just tissue paper that you can get at the wholesaler. And I'll add that to my wrap. Just lay it right on top. And then I'm going to do my same double peak. So I've got my 2 peaks. And then I'm going to lay my flowers down just the same way. And then do the same fold over wrap with a staple. This is great for things like Valentine's Day or Mother's Day. And then again, I'm going to put my business card on. And you can do this with any color tissue paper. I happen to have some pink from Valentine's Day. So you can just add that in as a little way to make it a little more festive. Sometimes people will buy bouquets from us and they'll want to take them somewhere like to a theater production and hand them to one of the actors, or they want to buy a bouquet and bring it to a graduation or some other kind of special event. And in those cases, I will often add a water wrap to the bottom of the bouquet. This is just a way to hydrate the bouquet while it's out in the world. So this one is a eco bouquet wrap. You can get these at your wholesaler, not this brand. This brand is actually discontinued, but Crystal has one, Floral Life has one. You can get these at your wholesaler. It's basically just a thick piece of kind of like a paper towel that is really absorbent. So you just take it and you put it in some water, wring it out. And then I'm going to put this on my bouquet before I wrap it in paper. I'm going to lay it down. And again, this is really important that your stems are nice and straight for the water wrap so that you can totally cover them with the wrap. So I'm just going to fold this over on top of the stems. And then I'm going to use a rubber band to hold it together. So you can see it's nice and tight on there. This is a compostable bag that you can just put on top, and then I'm going to put one more rubber band here to cinch it. All right, so I've got my bouquet ready. I'm going to roll off sort of an extra large piece of craft paper. I'm going to lay it flat. It's a rectangle, and I'm going to take my bouquet and I'm going to put it right here at the top corner of the wrap. Then I'm going to fold up so that that water wrap is covered, so we don't have to see that. And then I'm going to fold it over once and fold it over again. So again, it's still just two simple folds, but one thing I do in addition to the staples, I like to have a little cinch here just so it's easy to hold, and I think it does look nice. So I'm just going to put a piece of bind wire. If you've never used bind wire is like magic. It's just a thin piece of wire covered in paper, and it's so easy to use because you can just twist tie it on anything. So I'm just going to put a piece on here just right at the pinch point, and I'm just twisting it, nothing to it. And just trim it off. And put my business card on. Now it's wrapped. You can't see the water wrap, but it can stay like this for hours in the water without drying out or getting wilty. So this is an extra large bouquet, and one piece of craft paper will not be enough to cover this. So I'm going to use 2 pieces of craft paper. So you can just see the size. So what I'm going to do first is rip a piece off that is pretty large. I'm going to fold it just in my same double peak, 2 peaks, but I'm going to take one more piece, which is a little bit smaller, fold it the same way, set it aside for now. All right, and I'm taking my giant bouquet, I'm laying it down, and you can see that it's a little tight. You don't want to squish your flowers by forcing one piece around it. So I'm going to take this second piece, and I'm going to lay it on top. Now I can staple these 2 pieces together. This is basically like an extender piece. Put my business card on. And now you can see totally covered, nothing is squashed, you're not forcing it into one piece, and your bouquet, your flowers really shine. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and maybe share it with another flower friend that would like to wrap their bouquets like this too. Be sure, if you want more videos like this one, to subscribe to my channel. And don't forget my free weekly newsletter. There's a link below.